Hello, students, and namaste, everyone. I am Dhaval sir, and our today's topic is from your standard 8th semester 2 textbook, chapter number 11, the United Nations. Students, in the first lecture, we had seen about the introduction of the chapter, that is why. Why United Nations, right? Why is it established or organized? Why is it formed? Right? Why there arose a necessity for establishing such an international institution? Right? So we had seen about the world wars taking place and the need for peace and security and welfare of the people. Okay, so we had seen all these things in the first part of our chapter 11, and in our today's explanation, we'll see the two main organs of the United Nations, that is the General Assembly and the Security Council. Okay, and still there is a third part, that is the special organizations of United Nations, that we'll see in the final and the last part of this chapter, that is the third part. So today we'll see the two uh, main organs of United Nations, that is the General Assembly and the Security Council, and who are the members of Security Council. Okay, so you all might be aware that there are five permanent member nations. Okay, five countries who are having the veto power. Okay, so that we'll see. Okay, and what is veto power, that also we'll find out in the later part of the explanation of this video. Okay, so first we'll start with the General Assembly. You can see the picture over here, so huge, right? So this is the General Assembly hall of the United Nations, right? Such a wonderful hall where the members or the member nations, representatives of the member nations, meet at this place and they try to solve the disputes or the problems going all around the world. Okay, how? We'll see that. The General Assembly is the biggest organ of the United Nations, which can also be called the World Parliament. Right. So we have heard about Indian Parliament, members of Parliament, which are known as MPs. So those people are the people who look after the nation, who work for the nation, who make changes in the laws, right? Who try to find out the solution to the problems of our country. In the similar way, this is General Assembly, and it is also known as World Parliament because all the problems which are uh, occurring in the world and the solution for that, right, is uh, brought in the General Assembly, so it is known as World Parliament. The representatives of the member nations attend it. So that I've already told that those countries who are the member nations, from those member nations, the elected representatives uh, or delegates, we can say, right? So those representatives are sent to the United Nations. Okay, every member nation can send at least five representatives or delegates to it, but at the time of voting, okay, so five members can be sent, but at the time of voting, one nation can cast only one vote in the General Assembly. Okay, the general meeting is held once in a year. Its members elect the president and the vice president. So the members who uh, have visited the General Assembly, who are the representatives of the different nations, these elected members uh, elect the president and the vice president of the meeting every year. Okay, whenever a meeting takes place after the tenure of 1 year, the president and vice president is elected. Mrs. Vijaya Lakshmi Pandit was elected as the president of the general meeting. I'm not saying General Assembly, General Meeting in the year 1953 1954. Okay, in the year 1953-54. The Assembly presented the Universal Declaration of Human Rights on 10th December 1948 century. Right, so here the photo of Srimati Vijaya Lakshmi Pandit is also given. Okay, so when she was the president of the meeting, Universal Declaration of Human Rights was given, right? That each and every human being have a right of freedom and everything was declared in that meeting. General Assembly can discuss and suggest solution or give advice to any issue in the world within the limits prescribed in the Charter of the United Nations. Right. So again, charter word, as I said, it is a kind of constitution. So each and everything is mentioned in it. The rules, regulations, limitations, everything is mentioned in it. And within those limits, only the General Assembly can work. Okay. It cannot go beyond that. The General Assembly immediately draws the attention of the Security Council towards any situation which can put the peace and security of the world in danger. Because we all saw that Security Council, it works for maintaining the peace and security of the whole world. If any country is trying to break the peace in the world, then Security Council can take action against such country. Okay. The authority to grant membership to a nation lies with the General Assembly. So we saw that there are many countries, almost 193 countries are the member nations of United Nations, and if further any country wants to become its member nation or it wants to get membership, then the right to grant permission or the right to grant membership lies in the hands of General Assembly. Okay. Further, next organ, and again one of the most important organ, is the Security Council. It is the most important organ of the United Nations, right? So if you are asked which is the most important organ of United Nations, then it is, the answer is Security Council. And which is the biggest organ of United Nations? We had seen here, you can see in the first line, the General Assembly is the biggest organ. Biggest organ is General Assembly, and the most important organ is Security Council. Okay, so make this thing clear in your mind. Yes, so it is the most important organ of the United Nations. It has 15 members. Okay, in the Security Council there are 15 members, right? Out of these 15 members, five countries, that is USA, Britain, France, Russia, and China, they are the permanent members. That means they do not retire, right? They are the permanent members. The other 10 members are elected for a term of 2 years by the General Assembly. So, among the member nations, right, the 10 other members, except these 5 members, they keep on changing. Okay, and which is elected by the General Assembly. The Security Council enjoys tremendous powers to manage peace and security in the world. That means it can go to any limit or extent to maintain peace in the world. Okay, it aims its aim is to solve disputes between nations diplomatically as long as possible. So diplomatically means, as I said, not favoring any of the countries, trying to bring solution. Okay, in the middle way. Okay, fine. The head of the United Nations is known as the Security General. The head of the United Nations is known as the Secretary General. So we already saw the name. It is Antonio Guterres. Okay, he is appointed by the General Assembly at the recommendation of Security Council. He works as the Chief Administrative Officer of the United Nations. Chief Administrative Officer means he is the main person, okay, who is the head of the United Nations. Fine. Now, for our today's lecture, that is the second lecture of this chapter. This is going to be our last topic. What is veto? So, veto is the power, or it is the power that is right to deny. Deny means to say no. Okay, right to deny means right to say no. So, the veto power or the right to deny is a negative vote casted against a proposal in the Security Council. So if in Security Council, right, if we take the dispute between India and Pakistan, and the United Nations, that is the Security Council, says that Pakistan is right, and whatever the territories Pakistan has captured is appropriate, and the other part of the Kashmir should also be given to the Pakistan. So this is just an example. So if such kind of decision is taken, and if the final decision is to be taken by the other members, okay, so among the other members, the five members who are having the veto power, if even one member nation says no, this is not appropriate decision, then that decision cannot be taken. Okay, so that is the veto power. So what is given? It is necessary for all the five permanent members of the Security Council to agree over any decision. That means if any decision is to be taken, and if all the five members agree, all the five, listen carefully, right? I'm not saying any five. It is all the five. If all the five members agree, then only the decision can be taken. Okay, the resolution doesn't pass if any of the five members uses veto. So that I've already explained that if any country doesn't want to accept, okay, so the example which I give, if any country, for example Russia is a good friend of India, and it has always supported India in the matter of Jammu and Kashmir. So if such decision was given by United Nations, then if Russia says that no, this is not appropriate and I don't agree to this decision, and I use my veto power, that means I don't accept this decision, I deny, that means I deny and I don't accept this decision, then that decision cannot be taken. Okay, so for any decision to be taken, all the five member nations of United Nations should agree, then only such decision can come into force or can be acceptable. Okay, so that was the veto power. Then there is explanation of special organizations of the United Nations, and that will continue in the third and the last part of our chapter, and therefore we'll end our today's explanation and lecture over here. Okay, so I thank you everyone for watching my video.